Well, Maggie, you know, I mean, everybody knows the world is watching these hearings, including survivors of sexual and domestic violence. And to talk about that, we've brought in this morning Sarah Groshell. She is the interim executive director of the nonprofit Bradley Angle, which helps survivors. Sarah, good morning. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody's talking about this being historic. Do you see it being a pivotal moment in our nation's history?
I certainly hope so. This is a moment where lots of folks are watching, and we have a cultural narrative about what it is to be a victim or what it means to be accused, and we'll see how this plays out today as to whether or not they really listen and how accusatory and who's really on trial here.
Yeah, these last couple of weeks though, I mean, this conversation and this story, as we said, has been going for so long, and the narrative has been hot at times and it's been targeting the accusers at times. What's that been like for you to watch play out?
Well, I think that personally and professionally, it's really hard to hear all the stories coming forward, and I think it's equally as hard, if not more frustrating, especially for those who have worked so hard to change the narrative, to see how the accusers are on trial. And everyone is more concerned with Judge Kavanaugh and how this is playing out on going to ruin his reputation or how it's going to play out on them, and yet much less concerned with the fact that victims are receiving death threats and are going into hiding, and I don't hear any death threats for Judge Kavanaugh.
You know, a lot of people are drawing the comparison, obviously, with Anita Hill in the hearings 30 years ago. She's come out and commented on this. Can you talk about how far we've come or not come since that time?
I think that, especially with the Me Too movement and whatnot, a lot more people are coming forward. Whether or not the reaction from the public has changed, shifted, I think that that's being slower to shift. And I think that it was very unusual in Anita Hill's time, and yet we see multiple accusers coming forward this time and multiple people streaming to support also. And I think that that should not be missed either.
And I want to point out, you brought up Me Too, and we wanted to show some tweets of the Why I Didn't Report movement. And that's been a question even frankly brought up by our president as to why she didn't report, why her parents didn't report. And that has to be something that you've heard so many times in your career.
Absolutely. And the question is, why would they, when this is the reaction that they are getting from the public? So as Judge Kavanaugh, when she was concerned when he was a judge, she talks about, Dr. Ford talks about having brought up these concerns at different times when she saw his ascension to power in lots of ways and knew that there was going to be backlash, still talks about being terrified of coming forward. And it's because she's really been put on trial here, and she's really the one who is being targeted.
Let's bring it home for a second in the final moments that we have with you. If people know a survivor of domestic or sexual abuse, this is certainly triggering. What should we do for them?
Well, I think first of all, believe what they say and really listen to them and tell them that no matter what, that stand by them. They can always call one of our system has a centralized line through a call to safety, so 503-235-5333, which I'm sure you can share with folks.
Absolutely.
That people can call in, but really be kind to each other. Everyone's affected by this today, and everybody's triggered by this. And if this is happening to someone who has so many resources, imagine to those who don't have as many resources and how much might silence them if they feel like there's going to be backlash.
And I just want to point out, you and I talked about this in detail about what we wanted to say in this moment, and you told me yesterday, and we aired it last night, that you yourself are a survivor. I'm curious if there's anything that you would say to survivors themselves who are going to be watching this today and have been watching this.
Feel free to turn off the news and do what you need to do to take care of yourself and reach out to those who make you feel valued.
Well, that is a perfect note to end it on. It's such an important conversation. Maggie, thank you. And we also want to thank Sarah Groshell with Bradley Angle for being with us this morning.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.